Tropical Depression Caloy could become a typhoon threat in the South China Sea. A tropical cyclone in the western Pacific is forming right now in the South China Sea, well to the west of the Philippine Islands, but just about in their area of responsibility, and they have named it Kaloi from Pagasa, a tropical depression located at 15.8 north, 115 degrees east, 115.3. As of 10 p.m. in the Philippines right now on June 29th, it was here with winds of 35 miles per hour and a pressure of 996 millibars, moving west-northwest at 8 miles per hour, which is around 13 kilometers per hour, just over 8 miles per hour. A tropical depression at this time and likely to intensify from here on in. Currently located here, depicted on the map, no wind field to speak of. And as you can see, it is pretty much midway across the sea there between the Philippines and Hainan. Right now it is 337 kilometers from Sansha on the Paracel Islands, 670 from Sanya in southern Hainan, 713 from Haikou, 725 from Hong Kong, and 835 from Guangzhou, China. So the storm is likely to get closer to those locations over time. There are no warnings in effect at this point just yet, certainly none in the Philippines right now. They started issuing advisories without any warnings as it's moving away. However, even though the track of this storm is going to be uncertain and its intensity, large areas of southern China and perhaps northwestern Luzon are at risk of very high amounts of rainfall totaling 400 millimeters or more. This could lead to major flooding issues even far away from the storm's strongest winds. We'll explore the rainfall possibilities in the models a little bit later on. So the forecast then, this is our best guess so far. We expect that wind field will grow as we enter the next few days, and the track spiraling off towards the northwest, swiveling off and then towards the north, and then after it makes landfall, its track after that is going to be uncertain. And even before landfall, let's get it right, there is quite a lot of uncertainty about where exactly this storm will trend. Anywhere from eastern Hainan all the way towards Taiwan could be under the gun right now. There's Pagasa's track forecast on the left hand side and the agency's estimates of the system so far. JMA, Japan Meteorological Agency, official in this area, 35 miles per hour. That's what we've gone with as well in this latest update. But Pagasa's track on the left there showing they're expecting a landfall towards the western side of what we're of the possibilities. And this is the GFS ensembles showing all of the possible locations that they think that the storm will impact, and looks like the center area there is halfway between Hainan and Hong Kong and that peninsula, which I always forget the name of. So as you can see there on that graphic, lots of areas up for grabs for potential landfall zones. Here's the GFS model forecast showing what the primary one out of the ensembles says, the parent model, and you can see there it develops rather quickly. We missed the start of the model run just then, but there it is, developing into a typhoon, reaching category 1 status at least, and there it is just about to make landfall. We've paused it there, and then it makes landfall and moves inland. A rather broad system, but it does weaken very quickly. Let's see if we can take a look at the, oh no, it's not rainfall next, it's precipitable water, and you can see that any yellows that show up there, that shows an enormous amount of moisture and high cloud tops, and there you can see reaching land, quite difficult to see at times there, but you'll notice the sharp edge of the greens there as the storm moves inland, and all of that moisture getting funneled in towards the coastline. Quite impressive to see. Certainly anything that's dark green onwards is a very moist environment, and you can see that potential other tropical cyclone to the east there past Taiwan that might have a chance at forming. Right, so rainfall totals, this is the one that will interest a lot of people. You can see there along the Philippine coast there's quite substantial rainfall amounts, but then look towards China and you can see that the colours getting well into the reds, even towards the pinks. I think red is 10 inches. You can see in the full 7-day period getting into the whites and even grey colours just offshore the Philippines. That is out at sea. And here are the rainfall estimates. The pink areas there, that's around 16 millimeters of rain or higher. Bright pink getting towards 24 inches. Now you can see there in that grey area, nearly 40 inches of rain according to GFS in the next 7 days just offshore the Philippines there. Sea surface temperatures are going to be very good for the storm's lead up until landfall, though it's actually cooler underneath the system right now due to its own cloud cover, but it's hovering at around 28 degrees Celsius. That will rise up to around 29, maybe even 30 degrees C, and you can see temperatures in the Gulf of Tonkin there, even higher, pushing 31 degrees Celsius there, and just along the coast of China, you'll probably be approaching 30 degrees there as well, so very warm waters ahead of this storm for it to potentially develop. So here's some satellite imagery of the storm in the most recent sequence. This is one of the RAM images centered over the cyclone itself. Of course, still a tropical depression, not a storm just yet, slip of the tongue there. And you can see massive amounts of convection blowing up now on the western and southwestern side, some near the center, some even further away, but it is starting to get more concentrated there over the center point. And it's the southern side, as we saw earlier on the graphic forecast, that will start to see the tropical storm force winds first by some distance. Here's another look at the rapid scan imagery, geocolor showing the extent of that blow up, a very zoomed in image as well, nice imagery there, and you can see the rotation near the center as well, really just about sealing at tropical depression status. Fairly slow there on that actual image, but faster on some of the less frequent imaging. Here's another version, the air mass imagery. Still a little bit of dryness to the north of the center, and it will need to start to get itself a little bit better organized if it is going to strengthen as forecast. And this is a look at the wider shot, looking at the whole area there. You can see the Philippine Islands towards the center of the image and the South China Sea on the left. And this system's influence is quite enormous, extending to the south there almost as far as Borneo, and on the western side causing significant storms over southern and eastern Vietnam. To the north though, fairly quiet on that front. And there's a look at the infrared version as well, that blow up occurring and looking pretty decent for itself. I imagine this storm will start to develop more quickly over the next few days, and there is that chance that we will see a typhoon out of this. It's something that bodes watching very carefully across the whole southern coast of China this coming week.